Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 3, and today I'm gonna be giving you part 6 of What If Naruto Was an Immortal, half Otsutsuki. Remember to get this one to 100 like as usual, share this to all of your friends on your social media platform, and also guys, don't forget to go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto Became the New God of Apocalypse, and enjoy that guys over on Anime King. And also stay in tune for this what is coming your way. I have already posted another episode of What If Naruto Was Banished by Konoha and Made Them Regret It, so go ahead, check out that and enjoy as well over Anime King 2. And over Anime Prince, there will be a new movie coming your way, so stay tuned for that. And I hope you guys enjoy each and every one of them. So without further ado, or wasting any more time, what do you say we jump right into this brand new episode? Begin now guys. So the last time we left off, the woman that had arrived on the shores, telling Naruto that something was missing, her name was Amiko, as she was Amiko Otsutsuki. What was missing was none other than the Gedo statue, the house of the monster, Jube. As Naruto was upset when she told him that it's been missing for some time now. However, they believed that they could have found it, so they did not come to him right away. Immediately, Naruto and her teleported back up towards the moon, where the other branch, the remains of the Otsutsuki clan, live. His brother Hamura had brought members towards the moon with him, where they spread and they remained the Otsutsuki bloodline up here, on behalf of his brother's name. However, the remains down below, they had gone and taken another name and called themselves Hyugas. Said Hyugas had placed branding on their own family members, allowing the members up here to see them as nothing but, well, horrible people. So they didn't want anything to do with them. That is why they had chosen to stay away from them despite them being related. Arriving, many people saw Naruto as they looked at him with shock and awe. After all, he was a very popular person to those that know him. As Naruto made his way, seeing the several people around here, in their mind they had thought in the first beginning that they should carry out the plans of Hamura. However, they mistake his words, believing that they should destroy the world if that beast was ever to emerge ever again. However, Naruto was the one that set them straight and stopped them from forging their eyes and sealing it away inside of the Tensegan. The Tensegan was not what his brother had or what he had. It was a weapon that they named after his brother Ai. Something that they sealed their Byakugan from, they were born inside of. And doing so, it became a weapon of mass destruction and power. However, Naruto put an end to that, stopping them from meaningless wars with the people on Earth, as he stopped them from going down there to bring their own brand of justice. Naruto made his way towards the so-called leader of this clan now, as Naruto was not pleased with this new development. Not pleased in the slightest that he was just being told about this. Arriving there, the man could not meet his gaze, knowing that he messed up. However, Hamura had left behind, well, orders for them to watch over the statue and keep it safe. So for them to be out of the possession of the statue and no longer have it with them, they felt useless, well, mostly him, as a leader in himself. As Naruto went on to ask him if that beast was to ever be revived if he could fight it, the man said no, because of course not, he could not face that power. As Naruto told him that he should have come to him from the beginning. That is why he told him that it was over. Their guardian of the statue was no longer needed. The man was appalled by that as he tried to question Naruto. Naruto sent him a glare which made him shut his mouth. Naruto told him that it was over. From now on he will find and take the statue and keep it for himself. They no longer have this job to do. With that, Naruto left without asking for their opinion or anything. Before he left though, Amiko begged him to stay, as she's been trying to ask him to stay for some time now, telling him that life would be much better here. Time and time again, humans have shown nothing but violence and corruption, as she would like him to stay here, but Naruto still had a lot to do, and besides, he had to find that statue. She was deeply saddened by that, as it seemed like she had a thing for him. Sometime later, we were introduced to Jiraiya and Minato. As they were at Mount Miyaboku, Jiraiya was training a kid that he thought would be the savior of this world. He had got a prophecy from the Great Toad that told him about his part of the prophecy. The Toad had specified that, saying that he was to fulfill a part of the prophecy. However, there was something else that the Toad never told him, or never explained to him, and that involved someone else. Both men were suddenly sidetracked as they felt something. As the young boy Minato glanced up to see someone hovering in mid-air, the person landed and simply started to walk. Jiraiya tried to stop this individual after all. He was the only known sage of Mount Miyaboku, so who the hell was this guy? But to his surprise, one simple look, and Jiraiya was frozen. He could not defy, he could not stand in this person's way. As Minato asked him what happened, Jiraiya could not understand the feeling himself, as he had no idea who was that individual, but from the looks of things, it seems like he was a man that had faced off against the villagers to protect the land of Uzumaki. Naruto made his way towards the gigantic toad. Several other toads there were about to attack, as they did not know who this person was who just popped up. However, Gamaru told them to relax, as it's been a while. Naruto never believed in his prophecies because he had two so-called prophecies from his time on this earth. One for a savior of this world with blue eyes, another one where Naruto was involved, as Naruto will be in the midst of all the chaos and it will be up to him to overcome and also not be submerged, and there will be several people to guide this path and the true one will be revealed. Naruto did not know what the hell he was talking about because he was the one that made his own destiny, so he did not believe in the old Toad's words. However, Naruto was here for something. He used the crystal ball that the Toad had to scan over the entire elemental nation. Doing so, Naruto was able to find the lacking of nature energy, knowing that the beast, well, the Gedo statue is where the less nature energy is, but it was so much areas. He would have to search them all. As Gamaru spoke to him for a little while before Naruto decided to leave. Coming up on Minato once again, Naruto asked for his name, seeing the boy's deep blue eyes. As Minato told him his name, unsure the feeling that he was getting from this individual, as Naruto proceeded to vanish. Sometime later, Naruto arrived back towards Uza. Kushina was on the shores, as she seemed deeply saddened. When she saw him, she jumped and hugged him, before she quickly realized what she was doing and moved away in embarrassment. She thought that he had left and that he wouldn't come back, but she was so happy that he was back. However, he promised her that he would not just leave like that, and not come back without saying something, but he was gonna leave for some time. He was not sure how long he was gonna leave for. As she asked what he was gonna do, he said he was gonna search for something. Someone took something away from him. As the idea came in her mind, she ran away after that, saying that she would be back soon. She had to do something now, as she ran as fast as she could. Sometime later, Hiruzen, followed by Jiraiya and Orochimaru, arrived to the village, as they were greeted by the members of the Uzumaki clan, and they were also greeted by the leader himself. As Hiruzen went to the office alone while Jiraiya and Orochimaru went around. As Orochimaru was by himself watching the Uzumakis, that is when Naruto arrived behind him. Orochimaru was stunned because he did not sense a damn thing. We then skipped to Zetsu. Zetsu knew where the Gedo statue was. After all, Madara was connected to it. The man who was said to have been killed so long ago was indeed alive. He had escaped, barely. But Zetsu knew that it was only a matter of time, as we went into a flashback with the battle between Kaguya and Naruto and his two other brothers. We also saw that Naruto got hit with an ash killing bone. So yeah guys, basically let's let off. You guys can switch across the play check for yourself. So let's jump right into this. Begin. Now guys, we begin this episode in the flashback. The battle that changed this entire world and changed Naruto as well. Naruto was hit by the ash killing bone. The bone that was said to kill anyone that it pierced. However, as Naruto jumped in the way, blocking Hagoromo from being hit as he prepared to seal, Naruto was pierced. Hagoromo watched as his older brother, Naruto Otsutsuki, was dying. As he could see the life force inside of him draining out, someone rushed over towards them as it was none other than Hamura. He looked towards Hagoromo, as he looked towards Naruto's stomach, where the ear was slowly breaking apart. "We have to do something. There must be something that we can do," he said. "We have to stop this." However, Hagoromo could see what the bone's true intention was and the power behind it, as he could see that Naruto was dying and getting weaker and weaker. "Don't worry about me. Just seal her away. Get this over with. If we don't stop her, she will end everything. So focus on her." We all knew that it was a big risk, going up against her in the first place. "So don't worry about me," said Naruto, as he looked up toward his two brothers. However, Hagoromo looked towards Hamura. "I have an idea." "Damn it, Hagoromo," said Naruto. "We can't afford to waste time." Kaguya was regaining back her strength, as she was over to the far distance, taking power from the Jubi and healing all of her wounds after the monumental battle that she had with Naruto. So they had time. However, Hagoromo and Hamura started to whisper something, as Naruto could barely hear. "Do you really think that will work?" "I have no idea, but at least we can give it a shot. If it was a normal person, they would have been long dead by now, but because of the power Naruto wield and who he is, well, it was harder for his body to break down her chakra, was slowly killing him, not as fast as it would to a normal person." "Alright, let's do it." Both brothers linked hands. Before it started to glow a brilliant shade of white, Hagoromo pulled on natural energy. The Tensegon in Hamura's eyes started to be empowered even more as this power run through his body and went to the arm that was connected with Hagoromo. And also, the power of the Jubi as well. The power that his brother was able to steal with the Rinnegan. He pushed all of that out and slammed his hand into Naruto's stomach. The both of their hands connected, all that power rushed into him as they tried to fight back against the all-ash-killing bone. However, it caused a violent surge of power. The Jubi roared as it felt its power being used. This was not something that they know what would happen. However, the outcome was far worse. After all, they didn't want Naruto to die. He was born first. Despite all of them born on the same day he was born, a few minutes before the two of them. And he always took a role of protecting them, looking over them, even when they were much younger. Always making sure that they were always safe, despite there not being much to worry about. However, the both of them looked up to him. That is why they had to try it. Hagoromo blinked as he was back, on his feet, in a second, looking around. The whole area had exploded because of a chakra. That was an experimental feat that he's never done before. But he thought that the nature energy, along with their three combined power, would actually be able to affect and destroy their mother chakra from killing Naruto, to get rid of the process entirely of the ash-killing bone. Hagoromo? He heard a grunt. As he turned to see Hamura, he rushed over and helped him up. That is when they felt their mother power. The power that she was regaining after her battle with Naruto. They didn't have much time. They searched as they saw Naruto rushing over towards him. He was just lying there. The shirt, they ripped it open, as there was a mark left on his torso. However, as their eyes scanned over him, they could not see his body breaking down. A large part of his body had been destroyed. However, the chakra had accumulated together, and it had stopped the process completely. A look of satisfaction appeared on both of their faces, with a happy grin. However, Naruto was unconscious, as Hagoromo tried to awake him, but he just wouldn't wake up. Once again they felt it. She's coming. We don't have time to waste. We'll get Naruto somewhere safe and try to seal her. As Hamura nodded towards his brother, it would have been harder with the both of them on her alone. However, Naruto had taken the Jubi out of the case. It was not dead after all. The beast could not be killed. However, all of its limbs were cut off. Its body was mutilated and torn apart rather badly. But it was not the only one. Kaguya had received severe damage. She was using the Jubi therefore, lessening its recovering time to make herself whole once again, seeing that Naruto had done severe damage to her as she has done to him. So they could take her on. They could win this. They will win this. As they got Naruto somewhere safe. The battle went on for a longer time period than necessary, but in the end, Kaguya Otsutsuki was sealed away in the ultimate seal that she could not break. As she was being sealed away, she swore her vengeance on them, and in the process she released the creature that is now trying to recover her, Black Zetsu. End of flashback. Zetsu had saw all of that from his mother. After all, he was a part of her. However, other than that, Zetsu did not know how exactly did he survive or how did he become immortal. Kaguya never saw what actually happened with them saving Naruto. All she saw was the explosion of chakra that was very visible to everyone. That was all. So Zetsu had no idea how he was immortal. Zetsu had roamed this world for a very long while, and he had to be immensely careful. He knew that he could not get too close with the three of them being alive, so he went after the sage young son, which was Indra, and he started the cycle of hatred. However, as time passed, Zetsu realized something very grave and worrying. Naruto Otsutsuki was not aging. That confused him greatly, and there was nothing that he could do about it. Over the years, Zetsu had questioned if his plans would be stopped, as he had to constantly run. Despite not being close enough to talk to one another, Zetsu knew that Naruto knew that he was alive. He didn't exactly know what he was, but he knew that he was connected to Kaguya. So if his hands were ever to touch him, Zetsu was sure that he would be erased from this world. The world was almost destroyed several times in the past because of Naruto himself. Over the years, he had gotten so much more stronger, gained knowledge, learned, adapted. There was no telling the limit of his strength right now. And that is something Zetsu feared, because in this state of the world right now, Zetsu was not sure anyone could go up against him except if they were to gather all the beasts and become the new Jinchuriki of the Ten Tails. And maybe even then, would anyone still stand a chance against that monster? That monster that can end the world himself? Zetsu surely did not know. However, he had to bring back his mother. That was his goal, and he was going to do it no matter what. No matter what it takes, no matter what he has to do, it shall be done. Meanwhile, inside of his little hideout, Madara Uchiha, he was attached to the Gedo statue. As Madara was just locked in a dream from the past. Madara thought that he was strong. He respected Hoshirama's strength. Of course he did. Hoshirama was greater than him. The man had proved that time and time again, but his heart was just too kind to end Madara's life. And that was his greatest weakness. That is why Madara had an advantage over him. He was willing to kill, but not Hoshirama because they were friends. However, some things could not be changed. A person's destiny, a person's goal. Madara had tried to take the Nine Tails and use it against Hoshirama. However, things went so badly. He had spent months searching for the beasts. Of course he knew of the lore about the beasts circling the elemental nation. He wanted the strongest one, so he went after the Nine Tails. It was hard to find the beast. However, when he came upon it, it was sleeping. It did not seem to fear anything, sleeping out in the open, inside of a gigantic canyon. However, there was only a few people that would ever go to a place like that, so he supposed the beast was unsure of its safety. However, when he awoke the beast, the thing looked towards him with boredom. Like he wasn't important. Madara was surprised at its attitude. And it even spoke. He's never met it face to face before. However, from what he read, his eyes should be able to control it, so that is what he did. The beast warned him not to do this. He thought the beast was pleading for its own safety and its own self of not being controlled. However, the beast told him that he would pay. Then again, he thought the beast was saying that he would hurt him. But he had it under his control, so that confused him. However, he was arrogant. He went up against Hoshirama with the beast. But a man interrupted their battle. The man had looked toward the state that the beast was in after Hoshirama had subdued it, and locked it up like it was an animal. The man had simply told Hoshirama to release it and hand it over. However, Hoshirama refused, saying that the beast was too powerful to let go wild. The man had told him straight to his face that he would not like what come next if he acts again. Hoshirama had stand firm with his belief, as he too wanted to quell the senseless violence by offering the tailed beasts towards the elemental nation as a sign of trust and that they can have the military strength so they wouldn't have to fear the other nations or Konoha. But that was his mistake, denying the man what he seek. What followed was the man attacking Hoshirama. Hoshirama was someone that was revered for his strength, and yet what Madara saw, to this date even frightened him. His battle blood. His blood that pumped for battle was even stagnant at the moment. But he made the stupid mistake of trying to take the both of them out, knowing that whoever this newcomer was, he could only be trouble. So he tried to place the beast under his control once again, and that is when the man took the both of them on. The battle that followed was something that scarred him. He's never been beaten so badly. He pushed out every ounce of his power trying to rain down that man. Him and Hoshirama working together despite being enemies at the moment. They tried their hardest, but the man, he seemed to obtain a level of strength that they were not even close to. He beat them within an inch of their life and warned them that if they ever tried this again, he would annihilate them. His tone was deadly serious as he had then vanished off with the Nine Tails. Madara had been able to crawl away before Konoha had brought their reinforcements to get involved. The man's sheer presence alone had stopped any other lesser ninjas from getting involved in the battle, knowing that it would be certain death. Despite their loyalty to Hoshirama, it was just too overwhelming for them to face such a force. It was just beyond their comprehension. Their mind was unable to properly control their body actions to actually go forward. That was the day that Madara realized that there were beings on this planet that possessed strength that he would never reach. His body would not allow him time to do so. Or could he ever reach that amount of strength? He had already set a big plan in motion. Firstly, using the statue to create the Zetsus. Upon their ending of the battle, he had stole Hoshirama DNA. In doing so, he had merged it with himself. And after a couple of years, something wonderful happened. His eyes, they evolved into the Rinnegan, the power that the Sage of Six Paths was said to wield. But even with those godly eyes, he doubted that he could face that man at the level that he was right now, with his weakened, broken body. That is why he made a plan. Right now he had passed on the Rennegans. He had also infused his will into one of the Zetsus. It became completely dark, as he believed that it was the darkness that was in his heart. However, he did not believe that the Zetsu alone could complete what he wanted. He needed someone. He only had a couple of years left. Yes, he only had a couple of years. Even while he was attached to the tree, he could feel himself getting weaker, and he would be dead soon. That is why he needed to pass on his knowledge. He needed someone to mold, someone to create, someone that he can give on all of his future plans to, so that that person can complete them and bring him back when the time is right. Using the Uzumaki boy. Speaking of Uzumakis, he heard about the recent attack, and that man that had wiped the floor with him and Hoshirama was back. He had made sure to tell Zetsu to keep an eye out for that man. Over the years he had learned a lot, and the man had all of the tail beasts. Perhaps that was the strength of his power. The old text that he read from the time of the Sage of Six Paths said that the sage had brothers. He also believed that this person might be one of the sage's brothers. The Sage of Six Paths was said to be a god amongst men, so perhaps immortality was something that they also possessed. But if that was the case, where was the Sage of Six Paths? He had no idea. He was just lucky that he was able to get his hands on a Uzumaki. Throughout the years before the hidden villages were formed, several Uzumakis had departed away from the clan. Several Uzumakis gone out, and a few of them had settled across the elemental nation. Through the ages, some of them had died. Through the ages, some of them had kids and children. And he was grateful enough to find one that had resided in the Hidden Rain. And they had a child. Said child he gave his eyes off to. He heard a rumor recently about the child's death. However, after having Zetsu look into it, it was not real. The child was much alive, however. Him and his group that was now known as the Akatsuki was now making a different turn, trying to fix the Hidden Rain. Madara did not care much for that. That is why he wanted an apprentice. Someone that he can use. Someone that he can make turn that boy. So that he could be on the right side of things. So when the time comes for him to be revived, he will revive him. Even if it cost him his life. Zetsu just could not do it. But he was running out of time. He needed to find someone soon. If he couldn't find someone that was worthy, he would have to take someone and make them worthy. Because he would not allow everything that he's worked for, everything that he's planned to just fester out like this. Meanwhile, Madara was plotting to himself. Orochimaru of the Sannin turned to meet the man that was standing behind him. Curiosity. His curiosity had never been so piqued before. As he gazed upon the man, his eyes were similar to the Byakugan, but his eyes seemed to be more pure. That is what Orochimaru get after first inspection. They seem to be more pure and filled with a sense of control. A control that Orochimaru has never seen before. Despite the individual face looking calm, there was just something that Orochimaru felt stir inside of him. That part of him that started to experiment on people, starting to come to the surface. That evil part of him that was moving away from the good of Konoha. As he looked towards this man in front of him. As he spoke, I must say, I'm rather surprised to be approached by the man that they compare to a god. I must say I feel honored, Orochimaru said. You should not be so modest, said Naruto. And do not believe everything that you heard. Truth can be quickly turned into false. Is that so? So the claims of your power then, are they false? Naruto did not answer his question. I came to seek you out, for my own personal gains. Ah, is that so? Yes, said Naruto. I know what you've been doing. Orochimaru paused. Shock. As he looked at this man in front of him. What did you just say? He asked him. I said, I know what you've been doing. I'm afraid I don't follow. What have I been doing? Orochimaru said, trying to play it off cool. The experiments, of course. The kidnapping. Orochimaru's heart almost stopped. He was still a fellow Konoha shinobi. Thus, he had made sure that everything he did was secret. The areas that he did it. That is why he had not done anything in Konoha grounds. To make sure there was no possibility of him being caught. He was doing things outside the village. But he was sure that he was not caught, so how? I'm afraid I don't know what you mean, Orochimaru said. Look, I'm not going to insult your intelligence by calling you a liar. And I don't want you to do the same to me. You don't have to worry about me saying anything to your Hokage or your fellow Sannin. Your actions are something that would concern your home village, which I do not care about. Orochimaru remained quiet. However, there are several innocent and good people out there that want nothing more than to just live their life in peace and harmony. However, people like you are stopping them from doing so. Naruto stepped forward. Orochimaru stepped back. I am quite good at reading people. That is the only reason why I have not killed you yet. Orochimaru froze at that tone. It had switched so quickly. Because if I did not see any good inside of you, I would have erased you completely. Orochimaru did not say anything same way as he chose to remain quiet. To be quite frank with you, I am not a good person, nor do I call myself a bad person. I do not care for justice. However, I do care for the people that cannot defend themselves. Those people who do not deserve to be killed. However, I will take these hands of mine and slaughter thousands, millions if I have to, if it means I will get what I desire. So I cannot call myself a good person despite the deeds I've done. That is why I'm giving you a chance. There are several people out there that does not deserve death. Those same people are the ones that is the reason why you are alive right now. Not in a figurative way, but they're the reason why everyone and the nations are alive right now. Otherwise, long time ago, all of it would have been destroyed and changed by these hands of mine. Orochimaru was shocked by those words, as he still could not say a word out of his mouth, choosing to remain silent. Thus, I have decided to help those people where I can. People that are not involved and yet cannot fight back against the horrors that this world has to show for it. But inside of you, said Naruto as he poked Orochimaru right in the chest. The Sannin was baffled. When the hell did he got so close to him? Was he moving when he was talking? No. Orochimaru would have seen it. So how this? He could not understand. You are lost. Empty. As I said, I can read people. Right now you don't know what to do or where to go. You don't know what life has in store for you, and that terrifies you. And you also fear something. Something that you cannot control, which I presume is death. Orochimaru's eyes went wide. How did he? You seem surprised. But as I've said, I'm good at reading people. And you're not that hard to figure out. You're a man of great knowledge, of great wisdom. You can change many inner workings of many nations by your knowledge just alone. You can go on to be a very powerful, insightful asset to the Hidden Leaf to help your fellow man. You don't have to let the darkness that is inside of you take over. Because as much as your darkness is, I assure you, it does not compare to mine. As much as you think your suffering is, it does not compare to mine. You must be wondering why I'm telling you this. The reason is simple. I do not wish to kill someone that is just broken and tired of the civilization that they live in, because it's my fault why the world is this way. Orochimaru wanted to ask what the man meant, but he just couldn't find the words to speak, as he just wanted to listen and hear what he had to fully say before saying a word. Yes, it's my fault. That is why I try to give second chances to people like yourself. That is why I'm giving you this chance to not make this path something that defines you. To not take it. I can see it on your face. I can tell what you fear. You might not have seen me, but I've seen you on several occasions. I've watched you before. Orochimaru's eyes went wide. You feel no sympathy for your experiments, and yet, even after completing it, you still feel nothing. Trying to gain joy out of becoming immortal. Finding a way to live for everlasting. So that you can learn to absorb knowledge that no one else in this world could fathom. But I promise you, Orochimaru, what you seek, it is not great. Immortality. That is something that will cause you nothing but heartache and pain. I promise you that. I know that my words perhaps mean nothing to you. After all, you don't know me even if I do know you. I mean nothing to you, nor am I from your village or someone that can tell you what to do. So I'm not. What I am doing is giving you a chance. Cease your activities, or else. As Naruto started to turn. Well, that is all he said. Wait, Orochimaru finally spoke up. You said you've been watching me. Is that correct? Yes, said Naruto. So you've seen the things I've done. You know everything I've done. You claim to not be a hero, but yet you help the people that cannot help themselves. So why didn't you stop my experiments if you help those people? As Naruto merely looked at him, what Orochimaru did not know was Naruto has been all over the elemental nation He's been alive for a very long time now. He's seen things, he's done things. However, Orochimaru believed that the experiment on people that he took because of his so-called allegiant forces that he's been gathering over the years. Forces that were outside of Konoha working for him. However, all those forces were able to grab were the scums. The people that did horrible things in this world to innocent people. Those children, those innocent people that Orochimaru thought he experimented on. It was not real. Illusions. Genjutsu was a very powerful art. However, Naruto did not cast genjutsus. His deceptions, his power that grant him control of illusions are something that normal human can't break, especially after they seen his eyes and what he truly has to wield. Orochimaru has not met Naruto before, but that was a lie because he did not remember it. Therefore, Orochimaru has never experimented on a child or innocent person before. Despite Naruto allowing to experiment on those people that only brought pain to the world. He was being manipulated and he did not know. However, Naruto figured that it was time that he speak to him, seeing that he saw that his actions were taking a toll for the worse. He will soon leave Konoha if he did not say anything, and he will go down a path that will cause his death. Naruto noticed someone else coming. Hey, it's you! As Naruto turned his gaze towards the individual, the clumsy white hair one. As Naruto looked at him, yes, it is me, he said. You were the one at Mount Miyaboku. What exactly were you doing there, said Jiraiya, as he wanted answers. Why have you brought such hostility towards me, said Naruto as he looked at him. Why do you believe that if you come to me with anger and rage in your tone, that I will tell you anything? As Jiraiya realized that he was probably being a bit over the top, but he was just in need of answers. The toads would not tell him anything. Gamamaru always said that there was another side of the prophecy that was not for Jiraiya. Was the prophecy about this guy? However, the toads, Ma, Pa, they would not tell him a damn thing. Gamamaru wouldn't even talk about this guy. Sorry, said Jiraiya. I didn't mean like that. How did you mean it? Look, I was just a bit worked up. There's a lot that I don't know. I don't like when information is being kept away from me. Is that so? What's that supposed to mean? As the way he said that, Jiraiya found it like there was something he knew that he did not. You're wondering if there's something that I know and you do not. How did you? Yes, I do know a lot that you don't. But I don't believe that is my place to tell you that. Jiraiya glanced over towards Orochimaru and he saw something was strange. Orochimaru was usually a calm person, but he seemed more subdued. He seemed out of it for some reason. Jiraiya did not know what to make of it. What the hell were they talking about? So are you gonna answer the question? About what? Said Naruto. Stop trying to take me for a fool. You know what I'm talking about. I don't have the slightest idea, said Naruto. You still not haven't asked the question yet. What you did said was I'm sorry, because you came in a bit too hostile. Jiraiya frowned at that. Look, I was asking about what you were doing at Mount Miyaboku. Why were you there? Did the toads tell you anything at all? Naruto asks. No, they won't. Well then, that should be suffice enough. Because if they won't, what makes you think that I will tell you? Well, I know them, said Jiraiya. I'm not going to be able to force any answer out of them. As Naruto tilted his head at that, Orochimaru seemed to snap out of his musings as he looked up. Did he hear that idiot teammate of his correctly? Would you mind repeating that? Naruto asks. It's quite simple, said Jiraiya. I want to spar. You want to spar, said Naruto. Yes, with you. If we win, you give us answers. Orochimaru looked at him as he said we. Hey buddy, said Jiraiya moving towards him as he threw her arm around the snake's on his shoulder. Something that Orochimaru already hated. What the hell do you think you're doing? Come on, it's simple. Jiraiya whispered to him as he looked over his shoulder to see Naruto looking at them. Alright, here's my plan. I'm gonna make a bet with him, so that if we win, he can tell us a lot. I mean, Sensei was curious himself to find out more about this guy, and I'm curious as well. I know that you're dying to find out as well. And how exactly do you think that we're gonna defeat someone like that? Have you not been up to the latest news? Orochimaru asked in a calm tone. Yeah, I know that. That is why I have a plan. People like these who believe that they are untouchable always get too cocky, you see? And what exactly are you gonna do about that? Simple. I'm gonna use his own cockiness against him. So you actually thought this through, and not just jumping into things like the buffoon you always are. Of course I thought it through. Hey, I'm not a buffoon. And just go with me. As Jiraiya turned back towards Naruto, who seemed to just be standing there and looking at the both of them. Alright, here's the bet, said Jiraiya. The both of us will be facing off against you. We heard about what you did to those other 3 nations that came across Uza, so there is no lies about your power if I'm not mistaken. That is why, if we're able to land a scratch on you, you tell us what we need to know. A scratch, said Naruto. Yes, that's quite simple. However, if you're able to take the both of us down without us landing a scratch on you, well, we won't get to learn anything. But if we hit you, you will tell us what we need to know. Those are the deals. And yeah, no killing. So how does this benefit me? What would I get if I win, said Naruto. Jiraiya was confused. He thought he was going to say what he was going to get when he win. Cocky people usually talk like that because they're so believable in their strength. So they tend to think others much weaker than themselves. Well, what do you want? Jiraiya asks. Not sure what he could give him. As Naruto looked him up and down, the signing of the scroll. What scroll? Jiraiya asks. The toads that saw it fit to give you their summoning scroll. I want that, said Naruto. You want to sign the scroll? Said Jiraiya, confused. No, it's not for me. The toads have trusted you with your choice of picking a summoner for them, who will be later on judged by them to be accepted or not. I want someone to sign that scroll. It's that simple. So, you want me to make someone else sign this scroll if we lose? Exactly. And it's not you, right? You've seen me there before. Why would I need it? Said Naruto. Alright, said Jiraiya. That doesn't seem like much of a bad deal. But who exactly is this person? You either accept the deal or not. I will not elaborate any further, said Naruto. Jiraiya frowned. He'd already made Minato sign the scroll. It's not like there was a big limit on who could sign the scroll, but he didn't want to just hand it out so recklessly. However, he really wanted that information. About this person, would I have to teach them, Jiraiya asks, seeing that you're going to become a summoner? Alright, fine, I'll do it, but under one condition. And what would that be? That this will not harm the scroll or any toads at Mount Miyaboku. I'm not sure what is your connection with them, so I don't know if you have a grudge against them or something. I assure you that is not the case. Do I have your word? Jiraiya asks. Yes, you have my word. Alright then, fine, Jiraiya said. Deal. As he walked over and extended his hand. As Naruto reached and took the hand, Jiraiya smirked to himself. Remember now, you agree. And the deal was we're gonna land a scratch on you. That means if we're able to at least hit you with a punch or a jutsu. Yes, that's quite fine. Orochimaru raised the eyebrow. He was truly confident in his power to not even flinch at when Jiraiya said that. However, he couldn't help but find this whole thing curious himself despite worrying about the implications of this guy knowing that much about him. However, he did not seem to care about what he was doing other than he was going after people that did not deserve it. This would be a good chance for him to find out more as well on how did he know so much about him. Now, Orochimaru was ready to find out as well. Meanwhile that was going on, Kaya was brushing her daughter's hair as Kushina was in front of a large mirror, as Kaya was behind her brushing her hair. This was a mother-daughter bonding thing that they always do when they spoke to one another whenever Kushina had questions. So, what was so important you want to talk to me about, honey? It was about, well, it is about, as she looked down. Ah, let me guess, Naruto. How did you... Come on now, I'm your mother. And besides, it's written all over your face, said Kaya, with a teasing tone. Come on, Mom, be serious. I am. You're the one that's blushing. What? I'm not. Kushina said, causing Kaya to laugh. So what is it, dear? Well, you remember a long time ago when we talked about the Uzumaki and their pilgrimage? Ah, yes, their pilgrimage. Those Uzumaki who wander the earths. However, those traditions had stopped a long time ago. Why are you bringing this up now? Would I be able to go on one of those? Kaya was surprised. You want to go on a pilgrimage? Why? Oh, I see, she said. It's not what you think. Well, I think that you want to go with Naruto. It's not like that, Mom. It's just, he said that he's going on a mission. A mission? Yeah. Someone took something away from him, and he's gonna go after it. He said it's gonna take him a while to find this individual. And did Naruto say that he wanted you to come along? Well, I have not asked him yet. I was hoping that I should talk to you first on whether or not... Hey guys! The door blasted open as Kaguya came rushing inside. Her mouth was covered by chocolate as she had a chocolate bar in her hand. White Eye is gonna fight two people from Konoha. What? Both women said. As Kaya then looked towards her younger daughter. Where did you get that chocolate from? She asked. As Kaguya turned towards her hand. She was so excited she forgot that she had this in her hand. Oh, well, she ran away. Get back here, little girl. As Kaya rushed after her, before pausing at the door. We'll talk about this later, honey, okay? Wait, I'm coming with you. I want to see what is going on, said Kushina. As she rushed out as well. Moments later, both Hiruzen and Kagami arrive as Hiruzen sighed. I told them to not get in any trouble. I'll let them be, Hiruzen. It seems like Naruto is accepting of this. Perhaps they just want to test themselves. They've heard quite a lot, and most do not believe what they've heard. Yes, I suppose you're right, Hiruzen said. As he too was hiding his curiosity, he had no idea how his students were able to swing something like this to agree to get the man to fight. However, once they were alerted, they had came towards the area. They arrived towards a massive open area. It was an arena. There were seals all around inside to cover, to make sure that there was nothing that could spill out in the audience. Well, there wasn't really much of an audience here. It seems like the news spread. The audience just arrived, as almost all Uzumakis could be seen arriving. The place was immensely large, so everyone could have a seat up in the aisles. As Kaya walked over towards her husband, she greeted Hiruzen as calmly as she could. After all, her daughter was almost kidnapped after going to Konoha, so she was not very pleased with them. Kushina arrived as well, as she also greeted men as well. Hiruzen tried to act as best as possible, knowing that he was already being suspected of several things already. As several Uzumakis glanced over towards to see him, they were shocked when they heard what is going on. Kagami glanced over towards his wife when he saw his daughter. His youngest daughter was tied up by his wife's chains, and she was in mid-air, being held there. Her face was being wiped off by his wife. As he raised the eyebrow towards her, she simply gave him a look. She knew that he was allowing their daughter to sneak candies whenever she wasn't there. He took a step back. Did she know? He wondered to himself as he looked towards his youngest. As Kaguya gave her father a wink. Their secret is safe. Mom did not know. Well, that is what she believed. Alright, Mom, I'm clean now. Can you put me down? No. What do you mean, no, Mom? Well, this is your punishment. You'll be staying here until this event is over. I told you not to eat any more candy. You always end up ruining your appetite, but did you listen? And by the way, where did you get it from? You see, that's not gonna work this time, honey. What are you talking about? She said. You always say, until I end up changing subject or someone else chimed in. Mostly her father, but he is gonna stay right where he is. As she sent her husband a glare when she saw him walking over there. As he looked towards his poor daughter. As she gave him a look of help. However, he sent her an apologetic look. She was betrayed. Her daddy left her. Left with her mom. As she looked up towards her mother who was staring down towards her. I don't remember, she said. Oh, I'm sure you will do remember in due time. Because I won't release you until you do. You're joking, right, Mom? You wouldn't hold your baby girl forever like this. And why wouldn't I? I love when you're close to me, so why wouldn't I do this? But there's many things I have to do. Well, I guess I'm gonna cut all of those things. And you're gonna stay right by my side. Kaguya looked over towards her father. As he sent her a look, he would sort things out, but she had to remain quiet. But she didn't know how long she could last for. Especially without her sweets. She loved the thing. Hey! The voice of Jiraiya came speaking up. Can we get a ref up here? We made a deal with Naruto over here. It is our job to try and hit him once. Or, if he defeats us, well, he will win. As many people start to speculate what did they bet on. But Jiraiya did not say. I'll do it. As Kushina jumped down. Why thank you, Jiraiya said as Orochimaru remained quiet. So you're really gonna fight them, huh? Kushina said looking towards Naruto. Yes, said Naruto. And when I do, I'll have a surprise for you. A surprise? For me? Really? Yep, said Naruto. As he patted her on the head which made her frown. That made her feel like a child, but she was curious. What surprise? You'll see. Now can you call the match? Alright, she said. Alright, you all know the rules, which I was just told, so I guess I'll just say, begin. Upon saying that, she jumped away, heading back up towards the area. Kaguya gave the Uzumakis the go-ahead to seal off the arena as a ceiling matrix came up and create a barrier around them. That dissipate. It was there but it just could not be seen, so they could have the best view. Alright, no matter how strong this guy is, we just need one hit, so let's work as a team. Fine, to get what I desire. However, you better not slow me down, Orochimaru said. Come on, it's me you're talking to. With that, the both of them turned their gaze towards Naruto who still had not moved. His white robes blowing in the wind. In an instant, the both of them rushed off. Now it's time to see what you can do, Hiruzen thought to himself, as Kaguya glanced towards him as he saw that look in his eyes. Over to the other side, several Uzumakis were on the edge of their seats. As their savior was once again fighting, they could once again see his power, and those who did not see it could see it for the first time. These were two of Konoha's Sanins, said to be second to only the Hokage. So it's time for them to see their power against the man that took on 3 nations and came out alive and seemingly unhurt. So with that, both Sanins rushed forward believing that they could at least get one hit in. That is when Jiraiya slammed his hand into the ground. Upon doing so, a massive earth wall formed right in front of Naruto. Immediately, snakes exploded from underneath the ground behind Naruto. Said snakes rushed towards Naruto, their fangs dripping with some kind of venom. Jiraiya then exploded through the wall, sending dust and debris everywhere. As his fist was supercharged with chakra, this was all a distraction, as Orochimaru was falling from above. There was no way that he would be able to escape all of this. As the 3 of them were coming down, the snakes, Jiraiya causing all the dust and debris to actually slow Naruto down. However, as Orochimaru lashed down with a brutal kick, the several snakes that lashed out with their fangs, time itself seemed to slow down. As Naruto moved, Jiraiya could not keep up, his body was just physically unable to. So when he felt his hand slapped to the side as a palm planted in his stomach, Orochimaru, who was brought in his heel down, twisted his body as he saw that Naruto react. However, he felt his throat was grabbed. The snake Sanin was shocked as his eyes glanced toward the snakes to see all of them destroyed. It was like their bodies were flattened to the ground. Boom! Orochimaru was slammed into the ground, dust and debris. Jiraiya was embedded into the side of the barrier as he collapsed face first. Everyone was shocked. All of this happened in a second. As Naruto got back to his feet and walked back to where he was, the wall crumbling away to reveal nothing. Jiraiya pulled himself up as he rubbed his gut. "What the hell?" he said. Orochimaru broke out of the ground beside Jiraiya after entering said ground where he was. "What the hell just happened? I saw him move, but how was he able to disarm everything that we threw at him in a second?" "It seems like it was shorter than that," Orochimaru said, as he started to dust his hair out. Jiraiya threw off his wooden sandals. "We can't afford to hold back on this guy. I'm gonna enter sage mode. It's gonna take me a while to call Ma and Pa. You're gonna need to hold him off." "You don't have to worry. I'll give you the time that you seek." "What?" said Jiraiya. "You heard what I said. I will give you the time that you seek. So hurry up and do as you please," said Naruto. As Orochimaru looked towards him, "I'll wait on you," he said. "Alright then." Jiraiya started to focus his chakra as everyone watched. "What is he doing?" Kaguya said, as this didn't seem to be a normal summon. "He's calling for the special toads of Mount Miyaboku. It seems like he's taking this seriously off the bat. I'm not surprised that he would not." Orochimaru seemed to understand the seriousness of this situation as well. The match just began and yet he was able to take them out in a fraction of a second. "He truly is amazing," Hiruzen said. It did not take too long seeing that Jiraiya was 100% focused. As the toads arrived, "Jiraiya boy, what's going on? Why did you summon us?" "Ma, Pa, I'm gonna need your help." "Why are we... Wait, is that Naruto?" said Pa as he looked towards the man. "You summoned them, I see." "It's been a long while, Fukazaku," said Naruto. "Naruto, what are you doing here? I heard about your little visit, yet you didn't pay me and Ma a visit." "I was busy. It wasn't a long-term thing." "You say that and we haven't seen you in a very, very long while," said Ma. "Well, I did came recently, but we did not see you," Ma said. "Oh yes, that is true," said Naruto. "Wait, he knows them," said Kai as she looked towards her husband. "Well, this is a surprise to me as well," he said, looking back towards her. "Naruto knows all kinds of people. He's amazing," Kushina said. It just slipped out, as she perhaps didn't even heard what she fully said. "Why were we summoned here to fight Naruto?" "Jiraiya boy, what the hell are you doing?" "Easy. It's not a fight to death or anything. Our goal is just to land one blow on him. It's a test of sorts." "A test? And you agree to this?" Paul said, looking towards Naruto. "I seek something that he's in possession of right here, so I figure it would be much easier to just accept his little challenge." "Oh, I see. I'm surprised to see you here as well, Orochimaru," said Ma. She looked over towards him. "I thought that you wouldn't go along with Jiraiya boy in his little challenge." "I too seek something," Orochimaru said. "So can we begin this already?" "He's right. I need your guys' help. This guy is far stronger than I thought. You have no idea what kind of forces you're messing with. You should call this off. It does not matter. What you try, the outcome would not be on your side." Jiraiya was surprised. "You do know that our job is just to hit him, right?" "It does not matter," Paul said. "You should call it off." Now that intrigued the Sannin even more. Even Orochimaru, even the great elder toads did not believe they had a chance of just hitting him. Just who the hell was this guy? Well, I'll be judge of that. Come on guys, just help me out. Alright, fine. But don't say that we did not warn you. As they started to channel Sage Mode into the man. As Jiraiya felt it as he started to change, feeling the rush of power. "Alright," he said. "Orochimaru, you ready?" As Orochimaru looked over him and his changes. This is not the first time that he's seen this. "Seems you're able to handle it better than the last time," Orochimaru said. "Well, I have been training, you know. So this is what a sage is nowadays, said Naruto. Hey, what's that supposed to mean, said Jiraiya. You need the help of the summoning animals to help you reach that state. This is nowhere near perfection. It's not even close. That doesn't matter, said Jiraiya. We're still gonna take you down. As he glanced towards Orochimaru, you ready, he asks. Orochimaru summoned his blade as he gripped the handle of it. It was a black-hilted blade. The metal was silver, seemed to be on the darker edge. Let's just get this over with, he said, before he blurred out of sight. As Jiraiya stood there with a smirk, as Naruto's attention was on him. Got you, Jiraiya thought to himself, as Orochimaru appeared behind Naruto. As he brought the blade out, however, as Naruto turned, Jiraiya and Orochimaru swapped places. Jiraiya smirked as his fist was pulled back. His other hand threw a kunai towards the ground. Orochimaru focused his chakra as he swapped place with that kunai, using the substitution technique, such an easy technique to master in such a brilliant way. Now the both of them had him cornered as Jiraiya threw his fist first. It was close. Let's see him block this, Jiraiya thought as his sage mode enhanced his body to ridiculous degrees. Although he still did not master it to the point where his body could stay in it for too long, even with the toads helping him. Jiraiya knew that his fist was inches away, so imagine his surprise when a hand gripped his fist, locked around it completely. It felt like a vice grip locked around his hand. The force was completely gone. Confused and discerning, he brought his leg up to distract him to buy enough time as Orochimaru appeared and swiped. However, Naruto tilted his head to the side as the blade came down. His left hand then shot upwards and grabbed the blade by the metal. Orochimaru was shocked as the force that he brought down would definitely slice into his palm. However, the entire place felt cold. All the Uzumaki saw their breath. Though that was strange, given the hot sun. The entire place froze over. Orochimaru's blade freezing as well. The snake suddenly released and leaping away in the process. Ma and Pa and Jiraiya were stuck as Jiraiya's hands were frozen. He couldn't believe it as he was suspended in mid-air. The Uzumakis were shocked. Hiruzen was shocked. He has ice release? He said in surprise. Kaguya was shocked himself. He did not know that Naruto had such ability. As Jiraiya tried to exert his strength, he was about to break out of it because he was embedded with Sage Mode, but before he could, Naruto rested his palm on Jiraiya's stomach. And with a burst of pressurized air, all of the air out of Jiraiya's lungs exploded outwards. His body was blasted into the barrier, with enough force to actually shake the entire thing, shocking the Uzumaki members, who were holding the barrier up. Jiraiya collapsed face first. As Naruto tapped his feet on the ground, the ice quickly melted away, allowing water to fill into the area. Just like that, Jiraiya spat up blood. As he pulled himself up, how was he bleeding? His body was supposed to be reinforced by Sage Mode. Jiraiya boy, are you okay? What the hell is going on? He just placed his hand in my stomach. What was that force? Jiraiya thought. Orochimaru, who was over to the corner, was skeptical on approaching. Whoever this man was, he was clearly far from a human. It seems you're having a good nice time over here, watching the proceedings. Orochimaru blinked. The ice had obscured his vision when it turned into water and splashed. As Orochimaru couldn't believe it, the man stood right behind him. Orochimaru, behind you, Jiraiya yelled. However, it was already too late. But guys, be and subscribe right here. If you want the next part to do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. But I'm off for now. See you guys soon. Peace.